What's going on? It's your boy Salman here, back in the video, and today we're going to be doing an NBA mock draft here on the channel. As you guys see here, this is everyone who I've mocked, but I'm going to break down every pick. I'm not going to do like a draft like, me clicking in and shit, but yeah, this is what I picked so far. And we're just going to start from the beginning, not going to waste any else time. So yeah, Chet Holmgren, number one to the Magic, alright? Personally, I'm a Magic fan, and I think with the number one pick, you should draft the player with the highest upside. So honestly, I think Chet has the highest upside in the draft. He's long, lengthy. The problem with him is his frame, because he's like 7 foot, but he's like 200 pounds, which that is not good. He's very skinny for his position, but I think that he has crazy bounce, and he can play. He plays like a guard at that big, and I think you cannot pass on a player like that. So I have the Magic and Chet Holmgren number one. Number two, I think the OKC goes best available, but he's a great shooter. He kind of reminds me of KD a little, but yeah, he's one of the two players the Magic worked out. So it's either if the Magic take Jabari, then Chet's going to OKC. But yeah, I think he's a great shooter, probably the best in the draft, and he's a good defender, man. I think he can develop into a great player in the NBA. So I think that's why he'll go number two. Next, we have Pablo going to the Rockets. I think the Rockets are going to go best player available. Here's the safest option in the draft, to be honest. He's the most NBA ready player, I'd say. His floor is super high, but I'd say his ceiling's a little lower. I think he's a good pick. I think him and Jalen Green can go pretty good together and make a pretty good duo up in Houston. I think that's why he'll go number three, just because he's safe. He's a big guy, he's strong, he's skilled, he can ball, and I think he'll go ball in Houston. I think he's definitely the safest pick in the draft, and for a team that probably should go safe, that's the pick. And then number four, I have Keegan Murray going to the Kings. Alright, listen, Jaden Ivy is still there, which everyone's saying Jaden Ivy will go number four, but I think that from a point that they have Davion Mitchell, they have De'Aaron Fox, how many guards does the Kings really need? They have good guards. I think Keegan Murray is a pretty good player, man. He averaged 23 points a game last season. He's a big guy. He can make shots from the perimeter. He's a great player, and I think he will fit well in that Kings franchise that's really just trying to make the playoffs and, get going, not trying to be this failure of a franchise anymore. So I think Keegan Murray, number four, will definitely be a pick. I think that's a pick to go to. And then number five, I have Jaden Ivy here. Jaden Ivy, alright, I think Jaden Ivy is an explosive player who plays bigger than he really is. He's only 6'4", but he plays way bigger than that. He can attack the rim in a lot of ways. But the thing is he really going to play point guard in the NBA? I don't know. We will see about that. He may be a shooting guard, which, hey, the Pistons really need anything, man. They need a lot, so he'll be pretty good. He's athletic, and he's the best player there available at that position, so I think they will definitely take him. It's a good pick, and I think that Indiana will take Shaedon Sharpe here. He never really got to play Kentucky, so yeah, he never did play Kentucky, so he is very gifted naturally. He's physical, he has a lot of physical tools. He's a gifted scorer. He can play defense, and I think honestly Indiana is really trying to rebuild, and they really need a wing. So I really think a wing player like him, he could play guard or forward. He's 6'6", 200. He has a good frame. I think he'll be fine. I think that's definitely what Indiana needs, and I think he'll play there. All right, so number 7 to the Trailblazers, I have Benedict Mathurin. Just ignore my butchering of his name, alright? I remember watching him go off in March Madness, alright? He went crazy. He balled out. And honestly, if I'm a Trailblazers, trying to get back into, being able to play, I think he will play well around Damian Lillard. He's a shooting guard. They just traded 3J McCollum. So honestly, I think he'll fit in well there. He's a good shooter. I mean, he's an alright shooter. But with Damian Lillard, I think he can be a pretty good player. I think they will work good together. And yeah, he showed he can lead a team. And I mean, honestly, if Dame's there, he's not going to lead a team, but he can still play very well. Okay, now number 8, I have the Pelicans going best player available and going AJ Griffin here. He can really shoot the ball. He shot 44 from 3, which that's pretty good, especially in college, because usually they have to take a little. But he didn't show that much athleticism this year. I mean, his knee injury earlier in the season did limit him there, but once he found his rhythm, he looked pretty good. So I think he can be a value piece for that team. Honestly, he can be a pretty good spark player for them because they have the players they need the Pelicans to contend. They got Zion, Brandon Ingram. They have some good players, so I think he can definitely fit in there and play pretty good. All right. Next, we have Jalen Durham. All right. Pick number 9 to San Antonio. San Antonio, man, they do not really have a center, so I think that's why he'll go. But he isn't a floor space and center. He is a great athlete. He's built. He's 6'11", 250, so he's definitely a big body. He is a good rim running center. He can protect. He's a rim blocker. He's a paint beast. He can play the paint. And I think that's what the Spurs really need. They don't need a guard, I'd say. They got Walker and they got Murray. So I think he can definitely help out that San Antonio team if they want to get back in the playoffs with Popovich. So next, I have the Wizards drafting Dyson Daniels, all right? He is a pretty good frame. He's 6'6", 175, so he's a little skinnier but you're not going to be that big. A lot of players aren't that big, but his frame's pretty good. He can play with or without the ball. He's a guard, man, so the biggest concern about him is his jumper. But honestly, if he can play make well enough, I think he will be fine in Washington. They got some good players that can shoot the ball there. They got Bradley Beal, they got Porzingis. So honestly, I think all he needs to be able to do is set up the plays, man. I think if he can do that, they'll be perfectly fine. His jumper, it will come with time, so I think he'll be fine there. Because honestly, as long as he can get that set up, he'll be good. Because the jumper has been a little concerning, but as he shot 25 from 3 last season, dude. 25 from 3. I don't know, good. That's not that good, but he seems like a pretty well-rounded guard, so that's good. But next, we have Johnny Davis going to the Knicks. All right, Johnny Davis, he didn't do that great in March Madness. I'll give him that. But before that, he looked amazing. He could have won Player of the Year if he would have played like that the whole season. He got hurt, so I'll give him that. But he can make shots. He's a scorer. So, I think that's what the Knicks really need. They struggled this season. I think the Knicks need to get a star player, with Johnny Davis here. I think him and RJ Barrett, I think they could trade Julius and, get some value for some more picks. But, yeah, I think they need someone like that to be there for them because they really need a star, man. It has not been that good for them recently. But next, I have the Thunder grabbing Ochiwa Abjaboy. I can't pronounce names. I'm so sorry to him if you're watching this, which you probably won't. Never will see this, but yeah, I'm sorry about the name thing, but he's a great player. Honestly, I'm surprised. I should have him really higher, to be honest. He is amazing shooter. He's 6'5", 215, good frame. He can defend the wing. And honestly, man, OKC has SGA. They have Josh Giddey. They're going to get Jabari. And then they end up with, I'm not going to say his name again, but they can end up being a playoff team or close to a contending team sooner than later, man. With all this value they're getting, he's going to be a great player. He shot 40% from 3. He can score. And he can help out, man. He can help out a team in a lot of different ways that are appreciated. Next, we have Mark Williams going to the Hornets. Hornets really need a center really bad. And, if he's there, he's definitely going to go. Because he's more of a traditional big than a modern big. But the Hornets really need a rim protector and a lob catcher. So, honestly, I think it's worth taking him here. Shot 72% from the field, which is pretty good. He's a big guy, so he's not going to be taking a lot of jumpers. But they need a guy that can go defend the rim, get rebounds for them, get possessions, because they lost a lot of possessions this year, and that's not what you need. And last pick of the lottery, I have the Cavs taking Malachi Branham and keeping him in Ohio State. Alright, or in Ohio, the state of Ohio. He shot the ball 41% from 3 last year, which is great. He was Big Ten's freshman of the year. And honestly, man, he's lengthy. He can shoot, good size. He's 6'5", 180. I don't see why the Cavs shouldn't take him. I mean, they're gonna get Colin Sexton back next year, so they're gonna have Colin Sexton. They drafted Isaac Okoro 2 years ago. Evan Mobley, Darius Garland was an all-star, and they got Lauri Markkanen. They got Jared Allen, bunch of great players. Kevin Love's up there too. They got a bunch of great players, and I think this guy can help them, finally make the jump up there and be able to maybe win a playoff series. But if you guys enjoyed the video, that is my mock draft. Don't hate me on it. We'll see how many picks I get right come draft night, Hopefully I get a few, I'm not the most NBA expert, but it's fun, It's fun to do. So if you guys enjoyed it, please drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment. And yeah, subscribe. We're so close to 250. I'd appreciate it a bunch. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. It's your boy Salmon out.